Hello, everybody. Welcome back again. Second episode of season 2.
Yes, it's getting better and better. Tell everyone what we're talking about today. And this is a juicy topic. And when I say juicy, it's like juicy.
So last season 1, we talked about the explosion of the summer of skinny.
Yes.
And so now, after a whole year has gone by, we decided to talk to our friend doctors about what they've seen, what new things have come out with using medications to lose weight and stay a certain size.
That's right. There's so many, and we talked about it last year. We didn't know enough. Ozempic, tirzepatide, there's so many on the market. But real quick, I want people to know that Genevieve and Maria Elena, they're both physicians. And tell us a little bit, real quick, about your background so people know that we're talking to actual doctors who prescribe it, who work with it, and know what they're talking about. Let's start with Maria Elena.
Okay, so I have my board certification in internal medicine and pediatrics. My practice, I would say that 80% is internal medicine and 20% is pediatrics. And I see a lot of obesity and a lot of people dying for help because no matter what they do, they can lose that weight.
Yeah. And now you a little bit, so people know. For those that are new to the show.
Yes. So my name is Dr. Genevieve Garcia. I'm a board certified OBGYN. I have additional training in obesity and nutrition. I started doing the weight loss shots for my patients as well, or offering it to them. And so that's my experience with them for about the past 2 years or so.
So they're experts, right? They're experts. And Karina and I were news anchors back in the day in former lives.
And we investigate.
And we investigate everything. We ask a lot of questions and we love to talk. So we merged our friendship and our expertise, and we're bringing you this fabulous show. But let's talk about those shots. So what's on the market? Like, we know Ozempic. Ozempic's the one, but it's just a general one. It's like when you say Botox, but there's so many. But Ozempic, what else is out there?
Well, I mean, first of all, let's just talk about the medications.
Okay.
They were actually created for diabetes. Why?
Okay.
Because number one, they help to they enhance the insulin production from our body, and also decrease the gastric emptying of the stomach. So you feel like you're full. Also send a message to the brain. Also decrease amount of glucagon, that is the opposite of insulin. So therefore, it's a good medication for diabetic patients. But after many researches, yeah. They found out that people lose a lot of weight, and it's good for diabetes, but it's good, for the patient well-being. So basically, the main ones are semaglutide and tirzepatide.
That's the generic name.
Yes.
Which Ozempic and
Ozempic,
Mounjaro.
semaglutide, and Rybelsus.
Oh, okay,
are the same.
Rybelsus, yeah.
But Rybelsus is oral.
Okay.
And tirzepatide is the Mounjaro or the Zepbound.
Okay.
And that medication is a little bit, works like Ozempic, but also have an additional mechanism that improve the weight loss and also the performance with patients with diabetes, and also improve the cardiovascular function, and also improve the kidney function.
And this one is, which one?
Both.
Both.
But tirzepatide works the same than Ozempic or semaglutide, but have an additional function.
Bonus.
Yeah.
Yes. A bonus.
And what do you prescribe more? What are you finding works better for your patients, or can anybody use them?
Not anyone can use them. They really need a full lab panel, a history and physical, and make sure they're a good candidate for it. I obviously use it for different reasons than Dr. Sozer does, but there are a variety of people who just aren't good candidates. So thyroid cancer history is a no-no. If you have history of pancreatitis, that doesn't ever go well. If you're prone to nausea, vomiting, gastric issues, you're probably not going to feel great on this medicine.
Okay. So, and I know that a lot of people can get it from anywhere, and you see the pharmacies, the prescriptions. We talked about this last time. And I'm always of the mind that you have to be careful, especially when you're doing anything. And I love to do stuff to myself, but you want to go to a physician, like you said, a lab panel. What are some of the risks when you're not doing it correctly?
Well, they can have a bad side effect.
Yeah. What are some of
So-
those side effects?
I mean, nausea and vomiting are pretty common, but you can have anaphylaxis, you can have a worsening of a cancer, you can have
Yeah.
different issues. If you're already on diabetic medicine, you
Yeah.
need to be careful with that. You can drop the blood sugar very low. So there's
Okay.
pros and cons to everything, but making sure that the right candidate is so important.
You always want to make sure that whatever you do, you're just careful because it is medicine. It is medicine. Now let's talk about the positives of it because it's.
But let me just tell
Yeah,
you
go ahead.
about the side effects. The problem that, as you said, that when it's not prescribed by physicians, and the patient can get dehydration, can get pancreatitis, and they need somebody to diagnose that. So if you get it by somebody that is not
Monitoring
qualified,
it.
yes, or
Right.
monitoring.
and then who do you go?
When
So
you're
you
sick.
ended in an urgent care or a ER, or you ended being very sick.
That's right.
Because you don't have the feedback with the doctor.
With the
Like,
doctor,
look,
right.
this
A
is what
follow-up.
happened with me. I mean,
So for those patients that do go through those hardcore adverse events, are they supposed to stop the medication, or can they continue and it'll get better with time, or what happens?
When I'm using it for weight loss, I usually stop it. It might be different for a diabetic, but I usually stop it. But we see patients weekly when I have them on this medication, so we're pretty well versed on how they're feeling, if they're having any side effects. We see them quite frequently to kind of monitor their progress.
and sometimes what you can do is that you titrate it. Let's say like you go, for example, with semaglutide, you start 0.25 and then you go up to 0.5, then you go up to 1. But if they get sick, you can go back for them to still get the benefit of the weight loss, and also in patients with diabetes, they can get the control of the diabetes and also improve the kidney function. That is a plus. It's even indicated sometimes just for kidney dysfunction.
And outside of diabetes, the point of the medicine, at least for weight loss, isn't to go up on the medicine per se. More medicine doesn't equal better results.
Yeah.
It's finding a balance of where you're going to have appetite suppression and weight loss and not be super sick. So
Or
there's that
super
balance.
skinny.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You can get to an unhealthy weight, of course.
So
But
let's talk about-
online, you can't really, you don't have that supervision.
Yeah.
So
People
they're just
that end up
maybe they think
buying-
more is better, and they're giving themselves super high doses, probably dropping their blood sugar, ending up in ERs.
Oh,
So
That's
Ooh.
important. So how do you dose it? Is it depending on the patient, their size?
No, you have to start with the same
a
dose.
basic level on everyone.
Okay.
300-pound man, 150-pound woman, same dose. To make sure they tolerate it, and then you can titrate up, like Marielena was saying.
And how
as needed.
long do you go in between
4 weeks.
4 weeks for everybody?
And I do
Now-
a little bit different. So I see them more frequently, and so I'm able to go up sooner or drop it down sooner if I'm seeing, no results, or if I'm seeing something that I'm not comfortable with.
Also, like for people that are watching, and it might be a very difficult question to ask, being that, a lot of people want to use it for weight loss, right? But it was first indicated for diabetes. But for those people that do want to use it for weight loss, is there a time period where patients should expect certain weight off, or does it work differently
Everybody's different.
for everybody?
Everybody's
Everybody's
different.
different.
Wow. Is there some people, and I've heard that people have used it and they have not lost weight. Now, because you still have to diet and exercise.
Absolutely.
I mean,
That's
I
the
think
big
people
part. So
think
part
it's
of
a
it's
shot, and
counseling.
go
There
ahead.
is no magic shot, unfortunately, or magic medicine that can make you drop weight without effort. I calculate macronutrients. I'm very high on protein, a total calorie count. We see them weekly to kind of monitor their weight. And so it does have to be in conjunction with a person's efforts. If you're sitting on the sofa drinking beer and eating Cheetos, regardless of what you're taking, you're not going to feel good and you're not
Yeah.
going to lose weight.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you've seen it in your practice, but what I've seen is that some patients, they don't respond to semaglutide at all. Then
And
you
then-
switch it to
yes.
tirzepatide and they start losing weight like,
So I have.
and vice versa.
Right. So mine has only been the other way because I start most everyone on semaglutide just because of cost. But yes, I'll have a couple of people that don't respond and they end up responding better on the tirzepatide. Or less
Really?
side effects, or for whatever reason, even though they're very similar in nature. Some people just respond better to tirzepatide.
So everyone is unique, which is why you want to go see, I say, a doctor. I mean, I know there's nurses who prescribe this wherever you are, wherever you're watching this from. In the U.S., it usually has to be with a doctor or a nurse under a doctor's supervision, right? Or can a nurse prescribe it?
It depends what
How
state
does
you're
it
on, I
work?
believe.
depend of state, and also I don't know, but I mean, like, I don't know if you've seen social media that people they advertise,
They advertise
and I don't
all
know
the
how
time,
they can buy
I
without
know.
prescription.
So
That's
unless they're under some kind of supervision remotely from a physician or doing it off-label completely.
which is why we wanted to do, and we had talked about the importance of the show now that it's been on the market. There's good things about it, but with any medicine, you just have to be careful. You know, we did a show on injectables, and listen, I love beauty stuff, and I'm the first one to raise my hand, but I have doctor friends who tell me no. looking no, I have but you just have to be careful because you're doing stuff to your body, and you have to factor in health. I mean, everything. Talk about all the things that people need to factor in, and you just don't want to buy something online because it's cheap.
Well, first you just have no idea what's in it.
Yeah.
And you don't know where it's coming
Right,
from.
you can be getting a whole lot of something or a whole lot of nothing, and you're paying, you know, it might be $50 cheaper, but at what cost?
Earlier you mentioned something interesting. You know, patients getting on these medications and sitting in the couch and eating Cheetos and drinking beer. So two different aspects to that. Are people supposed to follow a specific diet when being on these medications?
Not necessarily. Again, I'm not treating primary diabetes, but I make sure that they understand that if they're going to be losing weight and not taking proper protein, they're going to muscle waste. And so you need to keep proper protein and do weight-bearing exercise so you don't muscle waste.
And it's a very common side effect.
Very common.
Really?
And from my standpoint, if they're not following the macronutrient plan that I make for them, you do see a little stagnancy in the weight loss. So once they start upping their protein and actually eating more, the big problem that I have is that people don't eat. So they lose their appetite and they're just not eating.
Okay.
And so in that aspect, I don't see a lot of weight loss until they start really eating their protein.
And then the next question is, can people drink alcohol?
Yeah, they can.
Wow. Oh.
But actually, tisarpatide is there's a research that actually help with decrease the craving for alcohol.
Really?
I've read about the decrease in fatty liver, but not about alcohol. That's interesting. And it might be because most people don't feel well when they drink on the medicines. So you can drink, not contraindication, but it tends to inebriate quicker, you get drunk quicker, and it stays longer. So it metabolizes out slower. So most people avoid it because they don't feel good when they drink.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, so many things that
So
you
I've
don't
actually
know.
had a fair number of people come off their,
Because they'd rather drink.
bottle of day wine. No, come off of that because it doesn't feel good to them anymore.
Yeah,
so
good.
they're taking the medicine and they actually stop the calories of drinking just because they're no longer really feeling that great when they drink.
There's
How
empty
about-
calories in wine. Yeah, go ahead.
How about sweets?
Like I said, I don't take anything off the menu. I do an eating plan that's more of a lifestyle, not a diet, because I want them to maintain the weight past when they're on the medicine.
Absolutely.
My goal is to get people on and off as quickly as we can, and then to get them to a maintenance state.
Now, we were just talking about that part.
The maintenance. And so now that we talked about it last summer, the summer of skinny, now it's summer 2 of skinny. There's a lot of benefits to these shots that we didn't know before, but now that people have been on it for a while. Talk about some of those and what you're seeing in your clinics, in the studies, everything, how it benefits you.
I mean, as I said, I started initially using in patients with diabetes, and as they lost the weight, they improved their health.
Yeah.
I mean,
Everything.
and I always say, you lose the weight, you lose the medicines.
Yeah.
Meaning you need less medicine.
Exactly.
For high blood pressure, for diabetes, even for cholesterol. So, the medication actually works great. Few people, they cannot tolerate it, and they can.
Right.
And
I've had those patients that just, even on the half of the lowest dose, they don't feel well.
Wow.
They're just super sensitive to that medicine.
Can people lose serious weight? Like I've seen it online, the transformations. We're talking about 90
It's
obesity,
significant. It's
but
really
it can't. It
significant.
really can. It'll change
It's
lives.
life-changing. It's really kind of neat to see.
For those that have struggled with everything, it's a good boost.
It is a good boost.
Are there people who are not good candidates? Like you said, those diseases, but also we were with a group of friends once, and there was a girl who's very lean and thin, and I think she mentioned she wanted, you were around, and because you prescribed to pick people, anytime I'm with her out anywhere, any of you, people know your doctors.
And she promotes us.
And so I promote you because they're my friends, but there's always someone who I want to try it, but they're not good candidates because they don't need to lose any weight. I think women always think they're bigger than they are. We also, many of us, not in me anymore.
We're
too critical of our own.
We're our own worst critic.
I mean, every now and then you have that patient that she used to be like 125
Exactly.
or 130, and now she's 140, and
It's
she
freaking them out.
cannot get that 10 pounds less, and you help them out.
You do. You would
course.
recommend it.
Of
Yeah,
course.
I mean,
People's
2
size
months,
and
3
shape
months,
and
and
weight
that's it.
isn't dependent on what I think is normal. I mean, as long
Okay.
as it's not an unhealthy way to have people come in crying because they can't fit into their favorite jeans, and 5 pounds later they're so confident and they have
So
their
you
little.
can. That's awesome.
And it helped them to realize that they were eating.
They're the problem. Their habits were the problem.
It
Yes.
does. You don't realize, listen, I'm a snacker, and when I'm watching TV, you just get into the habit of
Popcorn.
popcorn and yes.
Being
Ice
home did that for
cream.
me. I did not like being home during COVID. I was a snacker.
Because I guess
when
it's
I'm
just-
around, I don't eat. But
But
when
that's the reason I tell my patient, the diet starts from the moment you go to a grocery store.
Absolutely.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have to make
No,
good choices.
you're gonna eat it
Yeah.
at night.
Yeah.
Guys, in general, they're no snackers, like
Yeah.
meaning that they don't go to the
they don't need
refrigerator.
something. Yeah.
At night is when I get hungry.
Yeah.
I mean, watching TV is really
Antojos. You have the
Absolutely.
antojos.
Yeah.
So if I have
The
chips, if
chocolate.
I have the ice cream, I
You'll
will
have
eat
it,
it.
yeah.
No
Like Olivia
mercy.
Pope, popcorn and red wine.
Well, popcorn, pretzels, pretzel sticks, and
Ice
I got a
cream.
little, just a little container ice cream. Ay, pero qué rico.
Pero yo no compro. I mean, I don't buy it because
I won't have
then I
snacks
will
in my house
eat it.
either.
But
Yeah.
you know what?
I try not to.
Instacart will deliver it. Hey, Walmart.com and Diller. I know we've gotten too spoiled, but no, this is important. So I love that. I love that we know more stuff now, that there's a lot of health benefits. What are some of the other health benefits that we're
I
seeing?
recently read a study that it was actually decreasing the incidence of cancer.
Oh, wow.
So there was, I think, 20 cancers that they looked at, and incidentally found that the diabetics that were on this medicine for a while had a reduction in the rate of cancer.
Wow.
So cancer is linked to inflammation, high insulin, high sugar, those kind of things. And so, in being a great diabetic medicine, it actually had this added benefit that we were learning about.
That's amazing. Everything starts with diet.
Yeah.
Everything
We are what we
Diet,
start-
inflammation, stress,
Inflammation, stress, yes, and the quality of life.
immunity, everything.
So
Exercise.
earlier you mentioned that you tend to start them on tirzepatide. No, I'm sorry,
Semaglutide.
on semaglutide.
Which is the
because of-
Ozempic, yeah, but
because of cost.
Correct.
It's easier for the pocket. So there's a lot of people that maybe are extremely interested on trying out these medications, but they don't have access to that wallet to be able to buy those medications.
Right.
Do you foresee, after so many reviews and testing, that the medications are actually helping patients in different ways, that the cost eventually could be better so that it's more accessible for more people?
I believe so. Usually after a medicine is on the market for a while, it can go generic. And so once it goes generic, it becomes way more affordable.
That's awesome.
Right now, I mean, it's extremely expensive. And they actually have the indication, I mean, Ozempic and tirzepatide are the same thing, that Ozempic and Wegovy and tirzepatide and Mounjaro and Zepbound. Now, you can find them in trustable pharmacies and they compound it. Some pharmacies, I trust them and the patient lose the weight. I'm not 100% sure if that is the case. I mean, if it works the same that the brand name, but at least it's affordable. And you say how affordable for somebody's pocket. There's a doctor friend of mine that he actually used it, and he say, look, I don't have to pay for a personal trainer. I don't have to go to a nutritionist. I don't have to go this. And he's lost like 35 pounds. And his wife,
You eat less, you eat out less. And so because I'm using it for an off-label indication, I do the compounded version. And I have 2 pharmacies that I rely on. They're very, very good. They've been, accredited and so forth. So again, the pharmacy is really, really huge because you can get some.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the brand name can be $1,200
Yeah, way over
Wow.
$1,000.
Yeah,
Wow.
$1,000 a month.
So it
when,
makes a difference.
I have the reps that come and give me samples. So when I give a sample to a patient, happy
like, this is
birthday.
good.
happy.
It's like,
It is.
Don't
It's
throw it
better
in the back
than-
and forget about it.
That's
That's
right.
$1,200
That's
in
right.
your hand.
I was going to ask you, insurances cover it, or it just depends if you're diagnosed with something?
The insurance cover, I mean, for diabetic,
For sure.
for sure. every now and then you find an insurance that cover for weight loss, but then they come back after 3 months or 6 months, and they start like, you need authorization, you need to show the labs, you need to, and it's, I mean, it's fair. It's fair because what happened, especially with Monjaro, is that it, you know, it was so sold out. That
supply
even,
was
and
non-existent.
semaglutide 2 milligrams, it was so sold out that the diabetic patient couldn't get access to it.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that last year. Everybody was doing it, and it was running out.
Still, Monjaro is like
It's hard to come by the name brand.
Yeah, that's right.
And one thing that I find interesting is that Wegovy and Zepbound, I mean, especially Wegovy, they go to a higher dose than the Ozempic.
What is Wegovy?
It's Ozempic.
It's Ozempic. It's
But
another
for weight
brand. It's a
loss.
company. Okay.
That one's
No, it's the same company, but
It's the same company?
same,
Okay.
and
But
it
that
has
is
that
for weight
indication.
loss 100%, not just diabetics.
But the dose in Wegovy goes higher than in
it?
Ozempic.
Really?
Interesting.
Very interesting.
And also you mentioned another one that's oral. a pill.
Rybelsus. It's semaglutide. It's like Ozempic, but oral.
So is it, does it work
It
better one or
works.
the other?
It works, but I seen better with injectables.
Okay. So injectables are
Better.
better. Okay.
And
More
it's
effective.
basically once a week.
Okay.
Kind of go easier than that.
And the oral is every day?
Every day.
Oh, okay.
And it's you start with the lowest dose is 3 milligrams, then you go to 7, and then you go to 14. And I have a patient, for example, she's morbidly obese, and she said, you know, this Rybelsus is not working anymore for me. And then I switched her to Ozempic, and today she came, no, I want my Rybelsus back.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
They get used to something. It's crazy, huh? But that's good. But she's coming in and talking to you and giving you feedback, and you hear it.
Oh, no, of course. I mean,
That's
like,
the important part, I think.
she have lost like 120
My
pounds.
Wow.
And the son,
a whole person.
And her son have lost a lot of weight.
Good for them.
That's amazing. So there's good to these drugs. You want to be careful, for sure. That's the message we want to send. And we saw the popularity because celebrities are on it. Every celebrity that you see is using it. They lie about
I read
it.
something that 8 out of 10 Americans have tried some kind of
I mean, like
GLP-1. It's
Oprah.
Oprah was
Oprah
open
Winfrey.
about it. The Kardashians are not, but for sure they're on
You
it.
touch on something interesting.
Yeah.
Being open about using those medications. Now, this is not on a doctor's level, but as friends. What do you think about coming out and saying, yes, I'm doing this or not?
Yeah, and I like that. That's a great question. I'm very open.
That's what I was just going to say. She's more open than anyone
I
I know.
am
So she
super
will.
open about everything I do to myself. If someone asks me, now there's people that I'm a little more, there's a little things that are a little more private about for just reasons. But if someone asks me, I'll say, and I'm very open about it. If I've done them, if I've tried it, of course I've tried it. But I'm also like, don't want to get skinny. We all want to lean out. But yeah, and I have doctor friends who tell me, no, Patty, you don't need this.
Enough
or you
is
don't
enough.
need enough is
Enough is
enough.
enough,
And I
yeah.
do need to
And
be,
you have a husband that doesn't want you to be
to be skinny. Yes, I have
Who likes your curves?
I have a husband who likes my curves and he likes my booty.
Your
So he actually
voluptuousness.
said that. So you can get too skinny.
Yes, you
And
can.
but yeah, of course I've tried it. I'm very open about it. Now I think I see a lot of friends and a lot of people that have tried it, have tried them, and they've gotten super skinny. We all know someone, and they say that I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever. I don't believe it, but I respect that they want to be more private. What's your opinions? Let's hear it.
That's everyone's own discretion. I see a lot of patients that are also my friends, so I always have to be quiet no matter where
Yeah,
I am,
you're
whether I
very-
know something or not. I'm just
You're
there.
she's just so you know, she's very private. I never know who her patient is, you know.
Right. So in my
Both of
aspect,
you,
it's a
both
little
of you,
different. I'll be happy to share my story with most people, but yeah.
Yeah, you're very
As far as
private.
anyone else is concerned, it really depends on their.
I'm open
Their
about
discretion.
it. I mean, for the most part, I am. There's things people can be mean, but I don't really care what anyone thinks. So, I mean, so
Yeah, because you open another can of worms.
Love it.
For
I mean,
people that are coming out and saying, well, I am. Well, why are you?
It's becoming
If-
less taboo though. Before it used to be like really, oh wow, you're
Well, yeah,
on that.
because people would be like,
Right.
no, you're taking the medication away from people that
Diabetics.
really need it,
Right,
such as
right, right.
diabetics, right? But I think you can, share it with friends, but it's not like you're going to get on a microphone
and
and
broadcast it. Yes.
Exactly.
And here's what I'll tell you. And I've had, and I'm open about surgeries I've had. I've always exercised. I've always had this type of body. Anyone who knows me, whatever you do, here's from my personal story. You still have to exercise and diet.
Absolutely.
You can't just sit. You
It's a
cannot.
lifestyle.
It is. It's a little help to boost you and get going. But you still have to watch what you eat. And I like to eat, you guys, and we all go to dinner, and they're very disciplined. I mean, and now I don't drink, so I'm always like, I'm going to have a dessert. But you do have to still exercise. You do have to lift weights. I feel like no matter what you do, you still have to incorporate a healthy lifestyle.
That's super important because different than Maria Elena, I use it for a short stint for weight loss, and I bring them off of it. So if they're not changing their lifestyle habits,
It's like
they're going to gain it all back.
Yeah.
All that money wasted, all that effort wasted.
you
It's
still
a
have
shame.
You still have to do
So
Yeah, go
I
on.
recommend, coming in for at least a maintenance shot or at least a weigh-in once a month, just to make sure you're still
Yeah.
in the range of where you left.
Yeah.
Because gaining that all back is not an option.
It's a shock for
It's
the
a
body
shock.
to be
Yeah.
like.
Up
Yes.
and down.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing about that I see with this medication is that you don't see that yo-yo. The patient lose 20 pounds and the next month they gain like 20 pounds, and it's like
Yeah.
a yo-yo,
It's
and
very
it's
steady.
very extremely
Oh, yeah.
shocking for the body. So with this medication, I see that they lose the weight gradually. Sometimes you can see a little hair loss.
Oh.
Definitely.
No.
With which
Yes.
one?
With
Both. Hair loss, fatigue, kind of malnutrition symptoms if you're not eating well.
So, and that's the important part to see a physician if you're in the medication, because you can always help them. Okay, you can do this for your hair, you can do this. Let's just go down on the dose. I mean, the advice for a patient to be healthier, not just to be skinny.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right. That's
It's a
I
lifestyle.
love what you said. To be healthier, not just skinny, because there's a lot of skinny and healthy people. Like if you're
Skinny
chain
fat.
smoking cigarette, yes. And what do you think? We didn't get your take on people being open about it or not, or they're private. Like celebrities, we all know are on it. You can give your opinion, even though they're not patients. It doesn't matter.
Jessica,
It's just a matter of the
Choice.
person. I mean, the choices.
Preference,
There are patients that are like extremely private and number one, because of HIPAA, we
Yeah,
can.
you both are very
disclose
professional.
things.
Yeah, we
You're
never
very
say
professional.
anything.
We never know who's on it. Like, you're very good. But I mean, in general, like with friends and well, you guys are doctors. You're just very
The-
All
professional.
of our friends are patients, so
Yeah, that's
it's
right.
hard
But
to-
but also what happened, some people that have been always overweight, and no matter again what they eat or what they exercise, they always praise themselves that I am always very healthy, that I don't eat, and all of a sudden they lose weight with these medications. So they want to be private about it.
Yes, yeah, I understand that. I respect it. And people can be ugly. Listen, I get that. And people are private. We did broadcasting for years. My point, and we get criticism. You get used to someone saying something. I'm like, I don't care. I don't take criticism or advice from someone who I wouldn't trade lives with. Like if you're not being
Yeah, for
brave
sure.
with your own life, then I don't really care what you think.
You're
Keep
very
it-
good about
I'm
about it.
very good. I'm
Very
like,
good.
I'm like, you're talking about me? Really? Let me send you an autograph. I mean, I don't waste time. But
You're a fan.
they're fans. But so that doesn't bother me. But I understand people privacy and I respect it. But celebrities who are in the public eye, we know they're using it.
We went to a concert of a celebrity, and I'm not going to say the name. I mean, her booty used to be this big.
Oh yes, and you were like, send right away. She's like, she's-
That's
She's-
hilarious. Yeah.
That's right. She's skinny. And she has more of a curvy body, but it does help you to lean out for an event if you're going
What
somewhere.
concert did you guys go to?
You
We were all there.
She had a skinny booty.
I know we don't want to get sued, but
She had a skinny booty. I didn't know.
she's leaner than she normally is.
I've never seen her
This
that
skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
She looked great.
She looked firm, like fit, but yeah. I
She
guess.
looked great though.
I was like,
She
what
did.
concert?
the one that you were there, the one that you were dancing like crazy on. That concert.
Got it,
we
got it,
don't
got
want to say her name, but
You were wearing silver pants.
I think we all were wearing silver pants and a cowboy hat.
and cowboy hats and silver. We had a blast. Well, we mentioned again that we're all friends, and that's the beauty of it. But there's also an expertise. You guys are experts in your field, and we wanted to talk about this because it's important.
Absolutely.
And we're going to be doing more shows on this and health subjects. If you guys want to, you have a question for them or a topic you want to cover.
Yeah. definitely always reach out to your doctor, or you can send us messages too.
Yeah, email us. There's our email. You can find links. Send us a message. Put it in the comments. Whatever you want to see us talk about, we will cover it here. We can also have guests. We'll put them on the Amigas al Aire hot seat. We'll figure out a seat for them or something.
Absolutely.
So that's it for the show, right? Anything else you guys want to say? Any advice that you wanted? Last closing shots? Last closing?
I guess just know your physician, make sure they have experience using medicine, make sure that they're using a sound pharmacy. Side effect profile and everything is very important to consider, so it's good to know who is prescribing that medicine and not just get it from an online source or some other source that you're not very familiar with.
The hydration that you were saying.
The hydration
and
is
also to have real expectations.
Right.
Some patient come, well, I was supposed to lose like 20 pounds in a month.
And that's not happening. I always tell them. They want to know how much am I going to lose each time, and you can't really say that. Everyone has a different lifestyle, stress level, habits, nutrition, so it varies.
It's crystal balling. If you had a
not a
crystal
short-term
ball, like you said, your magic wand. We're going to bring a magic wand for you. Okay, well, thank you for tuning in for this episode of Amigas al Aire. We'll see you on the next one. Bye everyone.